I don't know. It doesn't look great for the future in general, no matter what, however you identify yourself, kind of
Pretty
situation.
much. Like at this
Yeah,
moment, the left, like the actual left in the U.S. has no power, and we probably
yeah,
won't for having any foreseeable future. So like all
yeah,
the sectarianism and fighting literally means nothing.
yeah. The sectarianism is in itself an op. Well, good morning, everyone. Hi there, Kyle. How's your day going?
Good, how about you?
Amazing. I'm having a cup of tea.
Welcome to our podcast, Barely Even Friends. I'm Kyle, and this is I don't know how to pronounce your name.
Gee,
Jun Sankara. We're gonna
thank
be
you, thank you.
talking. We're gonna be talking about our radicalization to the left and other various things. To be honest, maybe, hopefully.
Amazing.
Do you want to go first?
Um, yeah, I don't know. I feel like you could talk about like your childhood. I feel like everyone, on the left kind of didn't have a great childhood kind of situation. But I feel like my earliest memories of like being political and like thinking about the economy goes like way back to the Great Recession. Like um, things are quite rough. My mom got evicted and stuff like that. But coming to the left was probably like explicitly being like knowing what like socialism was, like loosely started with like the Bernie campaign when I was like around like 18 years old. Yeah, I could keep going, but I don't know. How about you?
Mm, um, I got into politics during Obama,
Yeah,
and when I was about 15, we were reading Animal Farm, and my English teacher told us about socialism, communism, and capitalism. I was like, oh, socialism sounds pretty great, better than the shit we're currently having. And she's
yeah,
like, look at all the people that communism killed. The Nazis didn't kill that many people. I'm like, well, that
yeah,
sounds bad. Good thing I'm
yeah,
not a communist.
yeah. Yeah, no, I had a similar situation where like I don't know, I think honestly like as like a kid, I feel like I feel like I had like a natural like socialist leaning, and then I had like a cringe like middle school, early high school, like on the capitalist, whatever that means, like phase. But I think yeah, then coming like older, I kind of was like, oh yeah, communism is really bad, but like I'm a socialist because socialist is like communism but without like killing people or whatever. Just like those early thoughts and redabbling of politics.
Yeah, exactly. Like, I remember watching the primaries and like the debates and stuff in like 2007. I
Yeah,
was like, because I was supporting Obama, and I was like, fuck yeah. Then I would go to like, I was going to a high school that was like super conservative, like everyone was
yeah,
white.
yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, you said like back in 2007.
yeah,
Yeah, I remember that too. It was a weird time because like my I mean, my dad ended up being like pretty liberal, but I remember he was like, Obama was so huge, like, back in like what was it, 07, 08, and I was just
yeah.
like, I don't know, like 10 years old or something. And like, I don't know, even like, even my mom, who was like, general liberal, didn't even vote for Obama because she was like a Hillary person. But I went to like a pretty much like all white elementary school, and I just knew like, like everyone and like in my dad's side of the family like loved Obama and like wanted him, and then like everyone in my elementary school like fucking hated Obama, and like I didn't really get it. I was like,
They have like
why?
no reason to care at
Yeah,
all.
yeah, we're like all kids, and they're like, oh,
Exactly. That's kind
he's
of
not
embarrassing.
American. Yeah. So it's a lot about the families. But yeah, I don't know. I mean,
It's
I
actually
think
kind of.
through. What are you gonna say?
I can keep going.
Oh yeah. Oh, you keep going.
Oh, it's kind of weird because like a couple years into Obama's presidency, for whatever reason, my cousin fucking hated him. She's like black and Mexican, but it's
Yeah,
like. But my mom told me it was because the pastor at our church was a super conservative, and he's just like out every Sunday just talking so much shit about Obama and stuff.
shit. Yeah. I grew up in a pretty like Latino Latinx area. Like it wasn't a ton of black people, but like there like I just grew up like in like East PA. But So yeah, there was like it was surprisingly a lot of like conservative Latino kids I grew up around. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think with Obama, it took me to like I never like I always as like growing up, I never was a Republican. If that really meant anything, but I think it took me till like the end of his term to really have like kind of like a general like anti-war feeling and like understanding of like I don't know, like Occupy Wall Street and everything that had happened in the previous years. To understand like I don't know, Obama, not a good guy.
Well, he ran as like a hardcore progressive and like anti-war.
Yeah.
Then like he governed as like a neoliberal centrist.
yeah, no, it's quite sad. All the hope was gone.
Exactly, and then it made people turn fash.
Yeah, how's your like family? Who, if anyone in your family liked Obama, how did they like Bernie Sanders?
My mom, she loved Bernie Sanders.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she also liked Biden.
Oh yeah, that happens. Yeah.
Yeah.
It was weird with my parents. I mean, I think in 2016, neither of them liked Bernie. My mom, by 2020, liked Bernie, but my dad was, I guess you could say, riding with Biden. I think my dad was just a hardcore like Obama supporter, but then like it was like at like March, like I had so many like not like serious arguments, but just like political discussions, I guess, and then like I kind of got him to like support Bernie like in like that March, right when he dropped out.
Oh, like when it's over.
Yeah, but like I guess in like I don't know. I guess I could see in like hindsight how like it's hard to pinpoint why, but I think it loosely makes sense why Bernie didn't do well with like black voters. I'm not sure what the reason is.
I think there's like a couple of different theories.
Yeah.
Well, because there's like black people tend to be like vote pragmatists and like they don't. Yeah. So.
Yeah, definitely. Pragmatism. I think it's also the theory of just like a lot of like radical black people that kind of end up in like prison or like got killed.
True.
Or a situation. But I think there's something about his kind of like I don't know. Maybe just like kind of like the crunchy like Vermont vibes a little bit,
He was a little too white.
A little too white. A little too like I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
It's kind of weird because Bernie did way better with like so like back in 2016, my family was like divided because my mom, me, and my cousin all supported Bernie, but my aunt and my other cousin, they all were Hillary fans. But if you like looked, so like Bernie did way better with black people in like the northern parts of the country.
Yeah.
But he did like really shitty with them in like the South, where like that's where like the whole, so like the weird thing about the Democrats, black people have like a lot of power, but it's all in the South.
Yeah. That's really interesting. Yeah. I think like honestly, it's kind of sad. I mean, I had like a few like cool. I don't want to call them cool. Like I had a few cousins who were like more on like the Bernie thing a few years ago, but pretty much like all of my like aunts and uncles, except for like a few, and they're the ones who like lived, like my like African aunts who lived in like England or something. Like almost all were Hillary/Biden supporters. I'm not sure if that like I honestly can't pinpoint a reason. I don't know. I have no idea. Yeah.
It's really weird. Could be worse.
Yeah.
My dad was a Reagan supporter.
I think my mom was a Reagan supporter, and it's weird because she's a fucking like she's like I don't know. I'm disillusioned with my mom's politics, even though she had some like influence over me. She's kind of just that like general. She was born in the '60s, but kind of had a little bit of that like boomer like hippie vibes a little bit.
Yeah, exactly. My dad was a fucking he was basically a hippie. He was like in all of that new age like drink like health kick and stuff, but he did a shit ton of drugs.
Yeah, my mom was the exact same thing.
Yeah, then he cried when Reagan died. I'm like, Reagan was like, I forgot how old I was when Reagan died, but I was like, who gives a shit?
yeah, no, it was my earlier memories maybe. I mean, it's weird even too. So like, even like I don't fucking know. Like my How are your like? I think we talked about this over chat, but how are your like white grandparents like politically?
Oh, so my grandpa died when I was about 4 or 5. So my
Yeah.
grandma told me during 2008 she was a registered Republican, but she was only because she was afraid of people finding out that she votes Democrat every election.
Wait, dude, it's really similar. So apparently, my grandma did a similar thing, where like she was a registered Republican, but would vote, I guess, the opposite of whatever my grandfather had voted for her whole life.
Well,
Just,
to be fair, my grandma was from Oregon, and then she moved to Arizona,
yeah. Oh,
so it
okay,
makes
okay, yeah,
sense. Yeah,
from the north.
like
Yeah,
yeah,
yeah. I don't know what happened with my grandparents. Or so like, I mean, they grew up in that like I guess like same probably years, like in the New Deal America. But I mean, they're both like Catholic. It doesn't really mean anything. But like I think they were like staunch. Like I know like my grandfather was like a huge like FDR supporter, and then like I don't know what the fuck happened, but then he became like a he ended up entering the business world and became like a Reagan supporter in the 80s. And my grandmother isn't very political, she's just like an old woman. But my grandpa, like he died like right before Trump became a thing. I don't know, it's depressing. He was not a great guy, but I think he gotta say it all. But he was just a staunchly conservative like Fox News watcher. I'd have the feeling he would have voted for Biden in 2020, which is still shit. But
true. But it's
yeah, he
still
was kind
better
of
than
just like
Trump.
he just kind of like like the swing state Republican kind of thing. Like
Yeah,
you go either way. But yeah, I don't know. Formative experiences into
yeah, because
the mind of a child.
basically, because in 2000, in 2000 during I was 8. So during that
Yeah.
election, my mom was a Gore supporter, but she couldn't vote because she had to work that day. My dad
What the
was a
fuck?
fucking Bush supporter.
Oh, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Ah, dude.
like my
Yeah.
mom could never get time to vote in like 2002, 2000, 2004. And then she finally voted in the 2012 election because like she signed up for mail-in ballots and stuff. And she voted in
Yeah,
every
yeah.
election afterwards.
Yeah, it's depressing. It's a weird thing, honestly. I mean, probably around the country, but like kind of like hippie, like white guys who are like really, really far right.
Yeah, that was my dad.
That's
Yeah,
like a thing. Oh yeah.
my mom was
Damn.
like a typical liberal black woman, but she was
Yeah.
she's pretty much liberal black woman.
Yeah.
Like she went to church a lot, but she didn't give a shit about like social things. Like she was pro-choice, pro-gay marriage, and all that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. My dad is. He's like my dad's not like he's like religious in the terms of like like if you're like kind of like being like the African like loosely religious, like he'll go to church like maybe once a month, but he's not like a deeply religious person. But like I feel like he was only like okay with gay marriage like a few years after it got legalized.
Yeah, I feel like that was
Kind of
most
thing.
people because like they're just like because if you look at it, it didn't even reach like popularity until like after first like it increased after Obama. Like it was going up slowly. Then Obama said he was for it. Then like it passed, and the Supreme Court like made the constitutional bans illegal. And everyone was like, I guess it's a thing now. We have to just accept. So they're like, I guess it's fine.
Yeah, it's just the thing now. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. I guess what brought you? So what pushed you over the edge from like? I don't know. Like, I guess. Well, how would you identify? Like, what would you put yourself on? Like, I don't know. Like, what's your political leanings per se?
So I went from being like a sock dem for like for the most of my life because I was like, because pretty much like all of this, because I always call myself a socialist because like all the socialist stuff they kept calling Obama socialist. Like I don't give a shit. like all the shit like socialist shit they didn't like. I was like, oh, all these government programs are social. Like all these government programs they do in Europe are great. Like, what's the problem?
I feel like sometimes the word socialist just means like not a fascist. Kind of thing.
But pretty much I went from being a sock dem until like then like so a couple years ago like during Trump's election, like the first one in 2016, I started getting into arguments with rightists, like right-wing libertarians. I'm like, these are all pieces of shit.
Yeah.
Because like because I had a friend who became like a right-wing libertarian. I haven't talked to him in a while, but he was kind of He voted for like Gary Johnson. I was like, Gary Johnson's a piece of shit. Like,
Yeah.
why would you vote for him? But then like so pretty much my mom died like 2 years ago. Yeah, and then like during the whole next sort of like slowly radicalized me to like, yeah, the government needs to do more because like everything was like preventable.
Yeah.
Like she died because basically she was poor, so I was like, yeah. Because like she had to keep work. She worked a lot and she didn't have health insurance, so she couldn't get her problems dealt with early enough. So that caused her to die. I was like, probably should have universal healthcare. Then like, yeah. Then like, so when the protests started and stuff, I was like, so on YouTube I was watching like random. So I kept trying to find movie reviews and stuff. And like TV shows, so that was after I got into Game of Thrones and like all that stuff, and I was like watching people talk about it. Then I was like watching stuff for like Doctor Who, and like people kept complaining about the dumbest shit. I was like, who gives a shit about this? Like they're complaining about diversity and stuff. I'm like, why are all these people so angry about the dumbest shit? They all sound like racists.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah. Then that like so that pretty much led me down to like somehow I ended up on I ended up watching like BreadTube sort of YouTubers. Then fucking then I slowly started becoming more like an actual socialist.
Yeah.
Then like I still to be honest, I watched Bosch and like I watched Bosch and like Bosch like put more of like other people into my feed because of that. Yeah. So I was pretty much a democratic socialist because I joined. You know how I joined the BreadTube server last year. Yeah. I like pretty much my problem with like a lot of like. So I'm a democratic socialist now.
Yeah.
Like my issue with like a lot of leftists though is they don't understand like history.
Yeah.
And why things happen.
I think it's important. It's important. Yeah.
Yeah. And so pretty much that's like. Then me arguing with people on BreadTube, I'm like these fucking anarchists are idiots. And then like these hippies are like, well, the Marxist Leninists. I'm like, anarchism doesn't usually end well because of there's not enough checks to the power of like that.
It's tanky. Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly, because like they tend to vanguardism could work, but it needs like the Soviet Union had the issues with like corruption towards the end.
Yeah. Yeah. No.
So you need like
that's where some of the Mao's critiques may or may not be justified.
Yeah. So pretty much over the course of the year, I went from basically being a stock dem to moralist. Some sort of amalgamation of like a libertarian socialist, democratic socialist sort of deal. Eco-anarchist.
The broad left, eco-anarchist, eco-socialist.
Yeah. I think I'm more of an eco-socialist than anything.
That's fair. I mean, honestly, I think like we're, I just feel like being like if you live in like the imperial core, I feel like anti-war and for like progressive politics is like just like the baseline of like what's just super important, like all that really matters. Because like I don't know, it doesn't look great for the future in general, no matter what, however you identify yourself, kind of situation. Pretty much.
Like at this moment, the left like the actual left in the U.S. has no power, and we probably won't for any foreseeable future. So like all the sectarianism and fighting literally means nothing.
Yeah. The sectarianism is in itself an op.
Exactly.
But I think for me, I went through like a weird roundabout. I was just kind of like Bernie-ish 2016. And I went into I was like an econ major in college and, studying China. And like, I didn't understand Marxism yet. But I was like, I think a lot of my politics always revolved around like how could how would you make Africa like less poor kind of situation. And I was like, I don't know. I had a deep belief that like what China was doing was what Africa also had to do to some extent, like a state capitalist. Is what I called it at the time. I still maybe consider it loosely economy. And then I don't know. Then I ran into some like Nazis and got into like BreadTube and whatnot a few years ago. And then became like kind of like an anarchist, like libertarian socialist. And then when like COVID and like Black Lives Matter and stuff broke out last year, I feel like I came to understand a lot of the contradictions with anarchism per se, or social democracy as well. And that led me to reading like Lenin last year. I had read Mao back when I was in China, and I don't know, through a culmination of events, I brought myself in.
The Black Lives Matter protests like made me realize the whole U.S. system is unfixable and an unattainable position. Like really, like the whole thing was like, this cannot be reformed.
Yeah, exactly. I think it definitely made me realize like kind of like a need for like an organized, like coherent, like structure. Like I don't know if it necessarily needs to be like a vanguard party, but I think it's like, you know, like kind of like Lenin's critiques on like spontaneity, where you kind of need like some organizational structure, was at least like my belief.
Well, because if you don't, you tend to get co-opted by nefarious forces.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So yeah, I don't know. Well, what do you see like the next 10 years looking like? Yeah, I don't know, in Arizona or in the United States per se. Politically.
Arizona, I see us going. So like Arizona has like a libertarian streak, but it's a right-wing libertarian streak.
Yeah.
But we're getting a lot of immigrants from the East Coast and California.
Yeah.
So I see Arizona becoming more solidly a blue state and more liberal.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping they combine with that libertarian streak and to make it more of a left-wing libertarian streak.
A left-wing. I feel like I could be wrong, but I feel like there's a good bit of like leftist broadly out west, right?
Yeah, like it's funny. Montana has like a populist streak.
Yeah.
And like federally they'll vote for like hardcore conservatives, but they'll elect like left-wing populists for like Senate and like governor.
Yeah, who's their governor again?
They had this one. I think the Democrats lost his previous election, but before him it was like Stephen something.
Yeah,
he was like the governor for
Bullock?
like 8 years. Yeah, Bullock. Yeah.
I think there's like a thing too, like a lot of like Californians moving out to Montana or something.
Yeah, it's more like, so the thing is too, but Californians are also, the right-wing ones are heading to like the Midwest, like Idaho and stuff too.
Yeah.
It's funny because like I keep meeting people from like Wisconsin and Indiana, and they come from like, well, at least like Wisconsin, Minnesota, where they come from heavy union backgrounds, like states where there's like a lot of worker protections. When they come to Arizona, the rents and shit's higher than it is there, and the jobs pay less here because we don't have like the union history. Yeah, and they're all fucked up about how they thought it was gonna be cheaper here, but rents and shit has gone up a lot.
Yeah, I think that's even the misnomer. Like where I grew up, it's like kind of like this idea that if you move to the Southwest, it's gonna be like so much more affordable and such. Which
it used to be, but there's a whole thing about. I'm gonna do a whole podcast episode about it. There's like a whole thing that's going on with like the high growing metro areas that are causing like the rents and stuff to go up everywhere.
I'm excited to hear that. Right now I live in like Maryland, DC, which is just DC essentially. But Pennsylvania has like the opposite issue loosely, where it's kind of becoming like a brain drain kind of situation, and like no one, like a lot of people are like leaving the state, and it's becoming like an aging population. Just kind of like a Rust Belt state, you know, like
Michigan and
yeah. I guess actually Pittsburgh is actually having a little bit of a revival, but I think even like though Philly is not considered like a Rust Belt city, even the Philly is kind of like losing a lot of like industry and such. There's just not a lot like. I mean, Pennsylvania has that like history, I guess, of loosely being like a union state. You know, it's the Quaker state of peace and whatnot. Not really, but
they had the Shaker communities in Pennsylvania, which were like pseudo-socialist.
Yeah. Apparently, even the Amish have some progressive politics. I found out. At least they're covering like the BLM protests and stuff. But
that's pretty cool.
Yeah. The Go Amish. But Pennsylvania's just like a weird place. It's obviously a swing state, and like both like Philly is very liberal per se, but I think I don't know. I think if you drive around Pennsylvania, you know there are some deep problems, and as if you drive around like any state in the country, there are some deep problems in the United States. There's a lot of like poverty throughout most of the state. Like you have like Philadelphia, which is very diverse, and most states like pretty white, like like old coal miner like families, I guess, from the past. And then yeah, I don't know. Honestly, I think PA could be depending on the populations, I guess, it could continue to go red / like be a swing state in the future. I don't know. I think Biden did well because like from Pennsylvania, born, I guess there.
I think the left and the socialists in general are missing a huge opportunity with where all the states where they have a strong union tradition, where they could actually start doing well there again, but they need to work on their messaging.
Yeah, I just don't see. I'm not a big proponent of working with either party. Yeah. But I really just don't see the Democrats moving in that direction in the foreseeable future, where they go into like a union focused party. I mean, what's that? The People's Party is a thing that's like happening in 2024, right? You hear about that?
I'm assuming that's going to burn out and crash and get absorbed into the Democrats.
Yeah, for sure. But I think a third party has no chance, but I think could do well in a state like PA.
I feel like did you hear about what happened? And that's a good happened in Buffalo, how they elected that socialist?
Yeah. What happened with that?
So the city council is not looking to get rid of that office.
Wait, what? That's the mayor?
Yes.
Oh, holy shit! I didn't know about that.
Yeah. So like she got elected. Then like the general election hasn't even started yet, but Buffalo is such a blue-leaning city, she's guaranteed to get elected. So the city council is looking at ways to eliminate that office.
See, this is why I don't see electoralism being viable.
Yeah, like
or things like this. Yeah, that is fucking depressing. Yeah, and it's odd when you see like New York such like a blue state, Buffalo like a blue city or whatever.
Yeah, then then a mayor gets elected who actually wants to help the citizens and like has a pretty progressive plan. They're like, we're not gonna let that happen.
Yeah, it's completely abolishing the office.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Damn, that is very depressing. How about federally? What do you think 2022 and 2024 will look like?
So federally, I think so. Biden's probably gonna die before 2024. Kamala is probably gonna run, but apparently her poll numbers are going down. I see the Democrats losing the Senate in 2022.
Yeah. What about the House?
Yeah. Well, they're 50-50 in the Senate right now, so they're probably going to lose 1 or 2 seats. Yeah.
Do you think they could lose the House in 2022?
Probably, yeah.
Yeah, I can see that as well.
Yeah, and then Biden will just be a lame duck. Then Stephen Breyer, who's the liberal Supreme Court justice that they're trying to get to retire before 2022. If he doesn't retire, they're going to lose another Senate. The Supreme Court's going to get another Republican who, if they lose again.
Yeah, damn. I didn't think about that.
They really fucked up with the whole 2016 election. Yeah,
no, big time.
Because like back in 2014, Obama was like, elections have consequences. Then they lost like the Senate for the first time in like 15 years. That really fucked them over.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, Obama really wasted all 8 years, to be honest. He had a super majority.
Was it really 15 years the Democrats had the Senate?
I think it was close to it, because I think they
I had no idea.
I'm not 15, because I think they got it. I think it actually might have been. I have to look it up. It was at least for a decade.
Damn.
Because they used to have, so the southern states still had Democratic senators still. Like Arkansas, Louisiana, Georgia. Well, not Georgia. Arkansas, Louisiana, some other ones that they all lost in like 2014.
I had no idea.
Yeah, because the Democrats still had a lot of like southern seats up until the 90s.
Yeah. Damn. Even in the 90s, weren't like. What do you think? Like, wasn't West Virginia like a deeply blue state up until like NAFTA or something?
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. Damn, that was wild. Um, yeah, no, the whole map is shifting. Yeah, I mean, like I don't see. I mean, I'm not going to make any super early predictions for the 2024 election, but it definitely seems like the Republicans have a good shot in the presidential race.
Well, it depends.
Yeah.
It looks like Georgia and Arizona are shifting away from them.
Yeah.
The Democrats need to, like, I think they're going to keep Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Because the Republican governor before the current Democratic one really fucked that state up. So I don't think they're going to be electing Republicans out of it. Scott Walker was a dude.
Oh, yeah. That guy was a fucking douchebag.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's true. I feel like I'm trying to think. I guess like what states like Virginia, PA, like North Carolina, Michigan maybe are up for like Ohio is almost a full red state maybe.
Yeah, probably now. I say Ohio's no longer a swing state.
Yeah, I mean maybe Florida as well might be a fully red state.
It probably is, yeah.
Yeah.
I think Texas, Texas might start leaning more blue.
Texas could become a swing state. Yeah. That'd be interesting.
If the Republicans have anything to say about that, they'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Yeah, damn, it just makes me fucking sick. I mean, I feel like the 2024 Democratic candidate is more than likely either Biden or Kamala.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, which isn't great. And then, I don't know what fucking weirdo we'll have on the Republican side.
I think it's going to be Ron DeSantis, the Florida governor.
Florida? Oh, shit.
So I know he's going to end up running Josh Hawley, Ted Cruz.
I feel like isn't he loosely becoming pretty unpopular? Like, I feel like, I know there's like a segment of people, because like he's really fucking up with COVID in Florida, right?
True, yeah, but Republicans are insane.
Yeah, damn, if he gets elected.
I think that the Democrats have a good shot of winning 2024, just because incumbents. Well, it depends. So if Biden's able to live that election, he has a good chance of winning.
Yeah,
but I don't think so, because incumbents usually get reelected.
Yeah, incumbents usually get reelected, but I feel like these last 2020 and 2024 will end up being like such weird years, because like if it wasn't for what was happening then? When you have like what the COVID and like the BLM summer, I think like Trump would have won that election. I'd like to think maybe.
Depends. He probably would have had a better shot.
Yeah, I mean, who knows? Maybe the Black Lives Matter summer pushed some people more to Trump. Who knows? But like, I just can't see how COVID had helped him at all, and he still got like what 70 million votes.
Yeah, well, the thing is, COVID allowed them to expand voter access. That's why more people voted. Yeah. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah.
And it's funny because Republicans are against it, but there's like evidence showing that increasing voter access and turnout doesn't really help either party.
Yeah, I saw it too, which is interesting. But yeah, I think even because like wasn't like even with like people over 65 plus leaned Democrat in the election.
I think Biden did better with them.
Yeah,
I think
just
one
like
group, that he lost, Hillary lost, that he won. I forgot, it might have been that one.
Yeah, which I feel like it's kind of unheard of. And I feel like it has to be, like, to me, like, kind of COVID related.
That one has to be COVID, because, like, he won it. He was just going to let them all die.
Yeah. Trump, what a man. Man. Oh, damn. I feel like we can't just talk about
that's
U.S.
Just like...
That's just what it is.
Yeah.
Things coming up for you?
Soon? No. Huh? It's like the fucking year goes by so quick.
I know. It's kind of depressing. You're 28, right?
I'm 29. I turned 28 a couple months ago.
Yeah. Oh, happy birthday.
Exactly.
Yeah, no, time's kind of just been flying by. Well, yeah, it's been great talking with you. I think we should do this again sometime.
Yeah, thank you. Thanks for listening to our podcast. Check us out on all the different podcasting sites, YouTube, and then Patreon or whatever. Do you have any last words?
Peace, comrades.
All right. Thank you.
Thank you.